pieces. All right, T-Mobile adds Cradlepoint to its 5G fixed wireless access quiver. I haven't heard that word used before to describe T-Mobile's repertoire of devices. So what do we have here? This is a relationship. I think Cradlepoint is a well-respected hardware company, vendor of like CPE and different types of equipment. I've heard of people with like home equipment using Cradlepoint. I've heard of it for businesses too. Point-to-point solution type applications, fixed wireless access, that sort of thing. T-Mobile is expanding its enterprise 5G fixed wireless access suppliers as it looks to increase the number and type of business customers using its fixed broadband gear. T-Mobile has signed on Cradlepoint as its second enterprise fixed wireless supplier after Cisco. The Ericsson company will offer T-Mobile business customers its X10 5G fixed wireless access router, the E300 router, and W1850 and W1855 adapters, which can boost 4G and 5G connections in office areas where the signals would otherwise be weak or non-existent. So to me, sounds like they're trying to improve indoor performance. You know, guys, I was using, was it the Inseego FX something from AT&T? It was their business grade equipment. And to me, it was like a glorified hotspot. It was fine for a small space, but you definitely would want to use like a router, a more powerful router, maybe an Asus or Ubiquiti or something, you know. So they're probably looking to enhance connectivity for folks within businesses that have more square footage, have obstacles, get a more powerful signal. Let's read on. All of them are applicable to specific customer use case and needs. We are particularly excited about the X10 as the price point will help us address more price-sensitive customers. I like the sound of that. Particularly small and medium businesses. All right, cool. All right, so two pieces here. You get a new set of hardware for enterprise and business solutions. You get a better piece of hardware than what they offered previously, right? So you get more options, performs better. And the fact that it's going to be effective as a cost-effective way to expand their hardware portfolio, that's really good, because you don't want things to be expensive when you're trying to bring people into your business. You want to have an attractive price point. RF Wave says law enforcement use it a lot. Okay, so that would be like a large, well, I don't know. It depends on the police department, right? But that would be like a large business. I'm guessing you're talking about like on the cruisers and stuff like that sort of thing. So yeah, that's a pretty good piece of news there from T-Mobile. And then this will be our last piece, the last T-Mobile news. Intrepid builds more open access networks for T-Mobile. All right, Intrepid Fiber Networks is expanding its open access fiber to the premises network with deployments in 8 more communities in Colorado, 8 more towns in Minnesota. The newly announced communities are in proximity to current Intrepid deployments, so maybe they're just expanding out from where they currently are. So we're looking at an organic build. These new locations will bring Intrepid's network to over 400,000 homes and businesses passed across 2 states. Intrepid, founded in 2021, quickly made a name for itself because its anchor tenant for its Colorado and Minnesota networks is T-Mobile. The company also scored with equity financing from Brookfield Asset Management, which that's a good company to invest in. Not financial advice. All right. Do we want to know anything else about this? Well, I think it's time to collectively look at what's going on here. All right. So T-Mobile has a joint venture with buying Lumos, which is a fiber provider with EQT, right? They continue to expand through Intrepid in 2 states. They got the pilot fiber in Manhattan. You guys noticing a trend here? T-Mobile is really starting to push this home broadband piece. You know? We're seeing them do this in a couple of different ways. Lumos is an indication that they want to own and operate and be a part of ownership. They don't have the know-how. They don't have the talent. They don't have the skilled workers. They don't have the tools, the resources, but they would if they continue to have transactions like Lumos. Pockets of states, county-wide coverage, so that if they do more of that, then we really know where they're going. This Intrepid deal shows an indication that Intrepid is building for T-Mobile. They're probably going to want to do this more as well. So that would be additional partnerships with open access networks. Remember how they did with like Tillman and stuff like that. They're attacking this on two different sides. Open access networks where they sell their brand over their fiber, and then legitimately buying fiber companies. And they're not being regulated for that, so they're just going to go ahead and do it. That's why you see them raising prices. That's why you see price hikes to legacy customers, and you'll probably see more of that in the future. T-Mobile's got plans. They realize that they need additional revenue streams, and they're going to do it through home broadband. Guys, when I tell you that T-Mobile is AT&T Junior, I mean that. They're trying to get into wireline. They're trying to be a wireless provider and a home broadband provider. They'll tell you that they're going to do everything capital light, and that may or may not be true. But you can't be an owner of fiber and do it capital light. We're seeing them starting to spend on this stuff. And we're seeing them do this through these open access fiber networks. They're attacking it from all angles. I think it's good for them. I think it's a pace that they can handle, and it's good to see them organically growing these, future ventures, business ventures. I like it for T-Mobile. I think this is good for them. I think we should expect, and I've said this before, every quarter to see additional Tillman announcements, Intrepid announcements. And now that something like Lumos has happened, you might see this in a couple of years. T-Mobile raises more capital. The rates get better to borrow money. If it's a larger provider, a merger possibly. But if it's a smaller one, they've got the capital to pay for it. You know what I mean? T-Mobile's making moves. They might be tiny. They might be small. But they start to add up over time. So open access networks continue to be a thing. Fiber acquisition. They've clearly made it clear they are investing in home broadband. I think that's pretty clear. Verizon has been on this. AT&T has been on this. T-Mobile's the junior. They're going to start doing it too, though.